Well, hello there and welcome. My name is Emily, and normally this is just my typical project update, but today is going to be a little different because I am doing some planning for my summer knitting. I'm excited to plan for this summer because I don't actually have anything concrete. I don't have any gifts that need to be made. I don't have any deadlines. It's all just very much whatever I want to be making. You might be wondering why I would even bother making goals for that or plans for that. And I have just found that it is helpful for me to spend a little bit of time ahead of the season just with some loose plans so that I can easily move from one project into the next and not have to stop and think through all the planning in between projects, if that makes any sense. And I know this is going to be coming out a little bit late for summer planning. I am recording it right at the beginning of June, but it's not going to go live until almost 2 weeks after I'm recording it. And that is because we have family coming in town. So I want to have a plan in place before they get here so that I'm not having to pull up my Swift and wind yarn and all of those things. I like to do some prep ahead of time, almost as if I were the one going on a trip. But so that I can just have those things ready to go. And then also so that I'm not having to record a podcast while we have guests here. So a little twofold. But I'm going to take you through just exactly how I normally plan. First thing, before I really get into actually planning for the season, I like to take a look back at what goals I set out for the year. So I use this physical planner. It is from The Daily. This is my first year using this planner and I do really like it. If I were working in an office, I don't know if I would love carrying around this huge book every day, but I do work from home and so I have enjoyed it. But it has a 2026 goal page, which I mostly have just used for knitting goals, running, knitting, and then I put try YouTube. So, doing all of those things. And then I wrote down my actual final goals for the year, which were to make 6 pairs of socks, have 12 stash finished objects, 6 garments, 1 baby blanket, and 2 kits. And then also 8 leftover finished objects. I'm not going to go into all my stats or where I stand with those, but I like to just take a look, refresh my memory for the things that I wanted to do at the beginning of the year, see what still holds true for that. And I also will end up planning it out. There's a monthly progress tracker where I, again, am just using this to kind of plug in projects where it makes sense for the year. I'm just going to take a look at what I have plugged in for the summer, and then we'll see if that checks out. So I had put a garment for Lennon, which is my daughter. I want to finish my soft current tee. Those things I had put in June. For July, I just wrote down socks, and I think that was because I just plugged in socks throughout the year so that by the end of the year I would get to 6. Although I'm going to knit way more than 6 pairs of socks this year, I hope. And let's see, in August, I put down a hoodie for Calvin, who's my husband, because he really likes my traveler hoodie that I made and would like a version, a modified version that's not cropped, that's like a normal length for himself. So I told him that I would make him one of those. And then I put down a worsted project, which is for this sweater's quantity of pink yarn that I have from the Lamb Kid in August. And I'm not sure that I'm going to do either of those things this summer. So I use erasable pens, which works out great because all of this can be adjusted. But it is good to just have that in my mind going into planning. All right, so now I'm going to pull up my iPad. I have some ideas for what I want to make, and I do want to keep things kind of looser than I typically do for my seasonal knitting plans. A lot of times I'll get very specific with I want to make these patterns. But this season, I'm thinking that I just want to have a few big goals and then I want to plug in whatever pattern I'm feeling at the moment. So one of my main focuses for the summer is going to be socks. Crazy Sock Lady has brought back her summer sock camp this year, which I'm so excited about. It wasn't on my radar whatsoever. I don't know why, I just kind of forgot about it. And so whenever she announced that it was coming back, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I want to make all of the socks. And I just finished a stripy pair of socks and had so much fun making them. And I just want that to be like my go-to summer knitting. I want to make a lot of socks this summer. So I'm thinking rather than making my daughter a garment that I will make her some Taylor Swift socks. I found a free pattern on Ravelry. Also, I'm just going to write down socks for my mom. These are a whip that you will have seen by the time that this video comes out. But she is coming to visit me and I have just a few days to make these socks, but they are going to be so cute. I'm making her some shorty socks. And then I'm going to write down Summerly patterns because I have her book and I want to work through that. So I'd like to make some neon cables because I have a lot of neon yarn in my stash and she has some really pretty cabled socks in that book that I think would be stunning in like a neon yarn, just kind of unexpected. I love the way that she plays with color, and so I want to practice doing that with my own knitting. The other pattern that's sticking out to me of hers is the Sunny Side Up socks. And then I'm going to put on here Sock Week yarn. I want to make the Vanilla is the New Black, which I might do for that Sock Week yarn. Nitty Natty does Sock Week. I think it's in the middle of July. And she told me, no, I learned about the Vanilla is the New sock pattern from her podcast. And so I have the pattern, I purchased it. I started to do it on another pair of vanilla socks and then I got just like a little bit intimidated. So I want to revisit that, and I think that I saw her working with the yarn that I purchased, and she's doing the Vanilla is the New Black heel with that yarn, and it looks really nice. So I'm going to revisit that. Oh, and then I'm just going to write down baby socks. So that's it for socks. And then over here for garments, I'm going to write down Lennon. I'm going to write down Calvin. I don't think that I'm going to get to either of those, but I will probably just in the fall. If I had my wits about me, the smart way to do this would be to make the hoodie in the summer so that it's ready for the fall, and then to make the things in the summer that I want to have in the summer in the spring. But I just don't like doing that. For whatever reason. I don't know. Then I want to make the Tulsa tank. I have that pattern and I just got the yarn for that pattern. So I'm going to put that on there. I'm going to write down my soft current, which is a current whip that I want to finish. And then if I finish the soft current tank in a reasonable amount of time, I'm just going to write down a couple other patterns that I'm thinking about. Moon Crush tank. My goodness, my handwriting is just abysmal here, isn't it? And the Lichen vest. I got the Lichen vest. It was the Tea Cozy's free pattern for the Puget Sound local yarn store tour. And their sample was knit in very similar color yarns to my leftover Pearl Soho yarn. My Cone of Shame Sour Citron cone of yarn from Pearl Soho, and then the leftovers in the Ivory Gray, I believe, would be perfect for that tank. So that's a good option to have in my mind. And then the other piece that I want to have on here, that I have an idea, instead of making my daughter a garment, I know she's like really wants me to make her that dress, and I'm just not. She really wants me to make her a dress. She has been asking for me to make her a dress for years. The dress that she loves isn't a dress that I think that I will enjoy making. So I think that we've got to do some workshopping there to find something that we will both enjoy. And that's probably going to be more of a fall thing. So I could try to have it done for her birthday in December. That would be great. But the other thing that she loves when I knit for her are doll clothes. And she loves to design them. She'll draw up the designs with the colors, and then I will knit them up. And she has made, like, she has one piece of paper that has like 6 different things she really wants me to make. So I'm thinking I can do a little bit of a knitting marathon between now and when school gets out for the summer, and have some of those things available for as a surprise for her whenever school gets out. And then she can have some new clothes and stuff for her dolls when she's going to be here for the summer. What else do I wanted to put on here though? I wanted to put separate would be like a pot holder. There's a crochet kit that I have. And then a die kit. All right, I think that those are all my like rough plans. So I'm gonna step away from this for now. I'm gonna ruminate over it, think about it, and then revisit it in a little bit after it's had some time to sink in. Okay, I am back. It is a new day. I have been thinking about all of my brainstorming list and kind of the thought cloud that I did yesterday. And I think that I'm ready to put some pen to paper and write down some actual goals for the summer. So I have my erasable pen and I have my monthly progress tracker page of my planner. And I'm going to be taking a look at June, July, and August. So this is where I left it. So I had written down here, as we talked about, linen garments. But I'm going to erase that off of there, and I think I'm going to stick to the plan of doll clothes. It's a little happy medium, and we will just put the actual garment on hold for another time. And then I would love to finish my soft current tee. I think that that would be great. And I'd also like to just go ahead and cast on the Tulsta tank, because I think that that's going to be a much simpler pattern and I can just get it going. And then I would love to finish. I'm gonna get a little wild and just put down 3 pairs of socks for each month. We're going to take both of these off of August. I had the worsted project written down and Calvin's hoodie, so I'm going to put those on hold. Those will probably be more of a fall project. So I think I am going to move Calvin's hoodie over at least to September. So I have 3 pairs of socks in July and 3 pairs of socks in August. So that's a lot of socks, but that's what I'm feeling. I'm not going to write down any specific patterns for socks because I think that I'm just going to have my basket of stash, pull from it, whatever I feel like pulling from it, and choose a pattern at that time. So I think that leaves us pretty full up for June. So then in July, if I have the 3 pairs of socks, then my goal could be to finish the Tulsta. That's my big project. And then also I'm going to just put 1 kit. And then I think I could do 1 kit in August as well. And then I'm just going to write down pot holders, because Pearl Soho just released these really cute summery pot holders that look like fruit, and I think that they're adorable and will be really cute to have for the summer. I'm feeling pretty good about this. It's a lot, and I don't have, if I finish all this, great, but if not, it's not like, I'm not going to be losing sleep over it. This feels fun because it's not anything that I have to do. It's like I do plan the things that I have to do, but it's really fun to also plan the things that I get to do and the things that I enjoy, because then I find that I'm able to do more of it. So I hope this has been interesting or fun or helpful. I would really love to know what you plan on making this summer, and I should be back to a normal project update next week.